Hey there, Coach Fickle. Yeah, it's me, Scary Alvarez of the Scary Alvarez podcast, a podcast I'd like you to like and subscribe to, like everyone listening. Um, thank you for listening to this. I sent it to you unsolicited, but I do want you to hear it because it is an open podcast letter, so to speak, to you, apologizing for the few of the things that I said in my last podcast. And I want to be clear at the outset here. You and I, well, we don't see eye to eye on everything. It gets pretty clear this past season. And I'm not apologizing for taking the positions I've taken relating to the things I saw on the football field. But with the Amari Latimer situation yesterday, I reacted in what most favorably can be called emotionally to something that was greatly disappointing, which is, of course, is his decommitment. I'm sure it paled in comparison to the disappointment you yourself and your staff felt. But I'm not one to apologize a lot, Coach. Maybe take a chair here. It's going to be a few minutes. Well, let me get it out. First of all, my position focused far too much on how this decommitment, especially given the timing, was the football program's fault. And you're the dawn, so to speak. Not the dawn, but a dawn. And that was, now that I've had 24 hours to ruminate on it, incorrect. Wisconsin got played. Let's be honest about that. There's no question. You'll put all your chips into the table. Not all of them. I'll get to that in a second. But a tremendous amount of chips into the table to a kid that you thought was a Badger, a family situation that you thought was supportive of it. And I believe that when you went to bed the day before signing day, you believed that Amari Latimer was going to sign with Wisconsin Badgers. Mr. Latimer and his camp the next day, let's be real here. I'm not no animosity towards anyone, but they turned this into a bidding war on signing day. And if the people I've spoken to are correct, a bidding war involving incredibly large amounts of money relative to the position of running back. It was reported that y'all were trying. Wilt Fong, he's kind of a godfather himself of recruiting, was throwing it out there yesterday that Wisconsin increased their offer during signing day to Latimer. And apparently West Virginia came in and was higher, or not exactly sure that shook out, but whatever the situation, it wasn't enough. And you all took your chips off the table and walked away. In the moment when the program loses its marquee recruit, it stings as a fan. And that stung. It was embarrassing as a fan. It's embarrassing. You know, there have been other things that we've gotten used to. It's not the only embarrassing thing we've had to deal with recently, but I digress. But looking at this with clear eyes now and how it all shook out, I think y'all were kind of taken aback by all of this bidding war with this kind of late entry that has deeper war chests. And you had to make a decision whether that's money well spent. And I'm going to get into a little more of that in a minute, but it's really important to note that well before any of this happened, you had the foresight to get another super talented running back, ironically enough from Georgia, into the fold in Quintavious Wiggins. So you didn't go into this, what appeared to be a labor negotiation, on signing day with Latimer and his family and his reps empty-handed. You got another really talented guy who had already signed. And I'm not saying I didn't want both of them. I think every Wisconsin fan did. I think Latimer is a special player who has a lot of potential. But given this sort of more nuanced view of everything and how it played out that day, and realizing that the amount of money you would have had to expend was probably, given the other problems the team needs to address in the offseason, significantly higher than was necessary or what that was tenable, you walked away. Sometimes a good gambler walks away. And maybe there were things in the recruitment you could have done differently to assess this. I don't know. A kid wears Ohio State gear in a high school game after he signs, or not signs, but after he commits. That is a little bit of a red flag there. But I read the same articles that you were reading on how the family loved Wisconsin and this was about doing the right thing and all that. It just, obviously in hindsight, it looks like a bunch of garbage now, but I think it was all well intended by the Scribners. But I'm gonna keep apologizing for other reasons, broader reasons, not just the kind of in the moment stuff. I think this was a sound program decision that you made, not chasing West Virginia into the bank vault. Okay, that's big. The chances of you finding a good portal running back who can really help the team, who has already proven himself in college football, and who probably won't cost as much as Amari Latimer, is very high. Having a good running back in Wisconsin is super important, but it is not considered a premium position in the portal, like a big talented defensive tackle, like a quarterback, like a left tackle, like a really, really good corner. And those are all things we got to look at. Maybe not the left tackle. We got big Kevin Haywood, as well, that's exciting. But offensive linemen in general, I think that's going to be something that you're going to dip into. And overpaying for a kid who's never stepped on a college football field, that carries risks all of its own. So being able to get, obviously, not comparable, you're not going to get an Amari Latimer in the portal, it's going to be a different guy. But someone who can step in and do it, especially with the status of your backfield and possible decommits or possible transfers there, we don't know. I can get behind this. I can get behind a line in the sand with Latimer now, the more that I'm thinking about it. Because using that NIL money for a proven quantity who could still be really good, having some money left over to apply to other positions that we're badly going to need bodies for, and good ones at that. Yeah. Coach, I'm sorry. I was a little hard on you. I was a little bit hard on you there. I wasn't seeing clearly. I wasn't seeing the nuance. And whether you were seeing clearly and seeing the nuance, all these things, I cannot know for sure. But I'm going to presume that a lot of these factors went into your decision not to chase Amari Latimer into a vault with an even bigger bag of cash than we could do. What does this mean? I don't know. Not sure. A lot of work to do, Coach. I mean, if I'm being real with you, I'm not sure there's been more work to do since Barry Alvarez came in 1990 to turn something around. I don't think the job's as big. They gave more talent in the building. But from culture building to recruiting Wisconsin better, there's all kinds of things on your list right now. But I'm going to take one thing off, and that is you having to be criticized by Scary Alvarez for the Amari Latimer situation. I got it wrong. And I'm sorry. Maybe there are things that will come out in the coming days or weeks that could change my position again. Maybe this was bungled in some way. I don't think so, though, based on the people I've talked to. They're not betraying you, but people do talk, Coach. So get back to it. Seems like you moved on. You already grabbed the safety portal guy today from Houston. Interesting how Wisconsin fans are super excited and not calling this person a traitor. It's always kind of funny how that binary works. But rest up. Get to work. Please do not ever wear the team shirt again. 2-2 without it. That Minnesota game was disappointing, but 2-2 with 2 ranked wins without it. Burn that. Burn it like it's a smallpox blanket, Coach. Anyway, I'm always here if you want to reach out. And Scary Alvarez is out.